Hi there, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Looking in the mirror can be a real shocker now, because I no longer recognize that old guy staring back at me. Kinda scary if you ask me. Oh yeah. But I wasn't always old, and like any other young dude today, I had dreams too of who I wanted to become. And for me, I wanted to be an artist. I didn't graduate grade 12 and had been working for my dad at the racetrack since my teens. At the time I had considered becoming a jockey because I was so short and a strong wind could have blown me away. Luckily I grew, because to tell the truth, as much as I loved horses back then and still do today, I never really enjoyed riding them that much, and I don't know why. I really enjoyed the racetrack life. But after much consideration about becoming a trainer like my father, I knew it wasn't for me. Since my dad couldn't afford to pay me to go to art school over the next 4 years, I went to work for several other trainers and enrolled in art school when I was 22. It was like a whole new world opened up to me, and I truly felt like I was in my element. Although I wanted to become another Picasso, Rembrandt, or a Van Gogh, I instead opted for the commercial art program after my first year in art school. Upon graduating art school, I had my sights set on working for an advertising agency. But whenever I applied for a position, although they liked my artwork, they were only interested in very experienced people because of the tight deadlines. However, I was hired as an animator and a background artist, which I thought was very cool. But after drawing the same characters over and over and over again, even when Bill Hanna of Hanna-Barbera called me from Hollywood and offered me a position on the Flintstones, which was just beginning, I turned it down. I sometimes wonder how my life might have gone if I had taken that job. I mean, the money was great, and I had a cool hippie girlfriend back then who wanted to go with me. But hey, life goes on, and I eventually wound up opening my own graphic art business. Since I didn't want to put all my eggs in one basket, so to speak, I taught myself to letter signs. And as it turned out, when my business folded years later, sign painting became my bread and butter. I have no idea how many signs I've painted over the years, probably in the thousands, and some of them were massive in scale and located high up on buildings. Show cards were a big hit back then, of which I painted hundreds because I was good at illustrating and cartooning as well as lettering. I remember painting and lettering a large poster for a wet t-shirt contest that was being held at one of the local bars, which was kind of a novelty back then. Also, a very young woman who was working for me at the time won the contest, although I think she cheated because after her t-shirt was drenched with water, she ripped it off, leaving nothing to the imagination. Man, you could see it all. And they were pretty nice. So, in this video, I thought I would create another wet t-shirt contest poster. It's very small in comparison to the one I did years ago, and we'll be using a piece of paper instead of show card, which is similar to cardstock, which is used for matting pictures. I'll be using my trusty old fountain pen and 2 small lettering brushes, and instead of one-shot lettering paint, we'll be using acrylics. You'll notice the brushes are shaped much like a calligraphy pen, in that they are chisel-edged, so I can either paint a wide or thin stroke. Hopefully the paper won't buckle too much and the black ink won't run from the water, and I may use some Prismacolor pencil crayons after I've finished it. The only signs I letter these days are for our annual Golden Unicorn Arts Festival. My bout from recovering from cancer and after COVID struck put a hold on it till last year, and this year's event will be the 10th. Well, that's about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and my rants. Should never get an old guy yapping, because I never know when to stop. Oh, and before I forget, something I seem to do more these days, kind of getting forgetful. I'd like to thank you for watching my YouTube video, and hope you will give it a like, or better yet, subscribe to my channel. Cheers, eh?